So learning lines can be a classic problem for many. And in particular, learning lines in an accent that's not your native accent. So for learning lines, there are many ways in which you can learn lines. Some are very fortunate and will naturally learn throughout rehearsal. Those lines will sort of magically go in, and so will the cues. Brilliant, great. If you're one of those people, fantastic, lucky you. If you're not, and you struggle a little more with line learning, there are lots of tips. Some of these I've talked about before. There are lots of things you can do to learn your lines. It might be that for a start, highlighting them makes them pop for you. I like to highlight my character and somebody else's character in a different colour, and stage directions in a different colour. Colours really help and really work for me. Again, if that doesn't work for you, there are many things, other things you can do. Typing out your lines, writing out your lines, or just the classic look, cover, speak, check. You can do that section by section with your lines. I mean, look at your line, read it out loud, cover it, read it again, look back. Now be careful with this. Make sure you're still following the syntax and the grammar that the writers intended for you. Don't try and learn something just because you've reached the end of the page or a line break. Make sure you are using the syntax as it was intended, because you don't want this to come across strange after you've learnt your lines. So we've got highlighting, look, cover, check, writing your lines, typing your lines. A favourite for me, and this is working for lots of students at the moment, is to do an audio recording of your lines and listen to it over and over. But I've got something even better than that, because that would be sort of a passive learning, just letting them go in. Get together with your group or your partner, whoever's in your piece. Obviously this works for scripted pieces or pieces that you've already scripted if it's a devised piece. Get together and create audio tracks for every member of the cast. So say the lines of everybody, bar that person you're making the track for, and leave enough space for that line to be said in the gap. And you can gift that audio track to them, and they can listen to all of the lines and say theirs aloud in the gap. So then they are actively learning and rehearsing their lines. Or of course they could say them in their mind if they're learning these lines at a not appropriate time to speak perhaps, and they've got that track. You can do that for every member of your group, or of course any member that's struggling to learn their lines. So that's record an audio track with gaps for the actor to rehearse their lines. So coming on to accent then. If you need to be learning an accent then it's not native to you, as I've said before, there are loads of vocal coaches out there who can break this down for you. There's some brilliant ones on YouTube that can break down the accent for you and help you learn it. But if you're still struggling, get somebody who is a native speaker to record those lines for you. Then you can listen to them over and over again until you've learnt them. You've memorised your speech or your lines with that accent on top. Or if you can't get hold of a native speaker, then get somebody who is really good at that accent, who has managed to study it and can do the accent and is feeling confident with it. Then get them to record your lines for you and then listen to them in that way. I really hope that helps. Let me know how you get on.